Silence is strength, the art of inner calm. In a world that is constantly screaming for your attention, have you ever felt that the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all? We're often taught that strength is loud and that victory has to be declared for everyone to hear. But the great Stoic thinkers knew a powerful secret, that real power isn't projected outward, but grown inward. In the quiet, you don't just find peace, you build a fortress. We are living in an age of noise, a constant flood of notifications, opinions, and demands, an endless stream of content practically engineered to hijack our focus and provoke a reaction. All of that external chaos creates an internal one, a frantic inner monologue of anxieties, judgments, and knee-jerk thoughts. We feel this constant pressure to speak up, to have an opinion, to prove our worth in every single conversation. But what if that instinct is wrong? What if the most intelligent, strategic, and powerful move you can make is to embrace silence? The Stoics, from the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius to the one-time slave Epictetus, understood this better than anyone. They saw silence not as an empty space or a sign of weakness, but as a discipline, an active tool for mastering yourself. It's the space where we finally get to separate the signal from the noise, the essential from the trivial. It is the practice of choosing when not to speak, so you can perceive the world clearly, act wisely, and save your energy for what's truly within your control. Today, we're going to explore this forgotten art. We will learn how to use silence not as a passive shield, but as a sword of clarity, a source of unshakable inner calm and profound strength. The problem: drowning in the noise. Let's just be honest about the world we live in. It's built on the attention economy. Every app on your phone, every news headline, every social media feed is designed to get a reaction from you. It wants your click, your comment, your anger, your outrage. It thrives on your engagement, and engagement is rarely quiet. This constant stimulation has put us in a state of perpetual reactivity. We're conditioned to respond instantly. An email lands in our inbox, we have to reply. A controversial opinion is posted, we have to debate it. Someone criticizes us, we have to defend ourselves. This cycle of reacting just drains our most valuable resource, our mental and emotional energy. Think about your own day. Your mind is a battlefield of mental clutter. You're replaying a conversation from yesterday, stressing about a meeting tomorrow, and at the same time getting bombarded by 100 digital pings, each one a little paper cut on your focus. The result is a nagging sense of anxiety, a feeling of being constantly overwhelmed, and a much harder time thinking deeply or making decisions you feel good about. The Stoics would say we've forgotten the crucial difference between what's in our control and what isn't. Other people's opinions, the endless news cycle, the actions of those around us, all of these are external. They are outside of our direct control. Our responses, however, our judgments and our choices are entirely within our power. But in the chaos of modern life, we give that power away. We let the external world dictate our internal state. We react emotionally, impulsively, and, far too often, regretfully. There's an old proverb, sometimes attributed to Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, that says, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." That ancient wisdom is more relevant today than ever. Every time we speak without thinking, fire off an angry comment online, or get pulled into a pointless argument, we are tripping with our tongue. We're sacrificing our inner peace for a fleeting moment of expression, and we usually end up escalating the conflict and draining our own spirit. This is the core problem. We've gotten so used to the noise that we've forgotten the profound power and strategic advantage of stillness. The solution, the fortress of silence. The Stoic solution isn't to run away from the world, but to build an inner citadel, a mental fortress of calm and resilience that can stand strong against the chaos outside. Silence is the main material you'll use to build it. This isn't about being mute or passive. It's about being intentional. It's about mastering the art of the pause, the discipline of listening, and the wisdom of knowing when words just add to the noise. Let's break down how to actually build this strength. First, we need to reclaim the power of the Stoic pause. This is a modern practice built on an ancient idea. Before you react to anything, an email, a comment, a tough question, just create a little space. The easiest way to start is by taking 3 deep breaths. In that small gap between the trigger and your response, you give your brain a chance to shift from its emotional, reactive part to its rational, thinking part. In that space, you can filter your words by asking 3 simple but powerful questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Think about how many of our impulsive reactions would never pass that simple test. This practice alone can transform your interactions. It cuts down on impulsive comments, de-escalates conflicts before they start, and saves your emotional energy for what really matters. You're no longer a puppet of external events. You're the master of your own responses. Second, we have to rediscover listening as a form of power. There's a wise saying, often attributed to the philosopher Epictetus, that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Too often, we listen not to understand, but just to plan our reply. We're just waiting for our turn to talk. Intentional silence flips that script. When you truly listen to someone without interrupting, without planning your comeback, you gain an incredible amount of information. You start to understand their real position, their hidden emotions, and what's actually driving them. This gives you a huge strategic advantage by simply reflecting back what you heard. So, if I'm hearing you right, it sounds like you're feeling. You show you're engaged, you build trust, and you drain the tension from the conversation. The other person feels heard, which is often all they ever wanted. You, in your silence, have guided the dynamic not through force, but through understanding. Third, you have to actively schedule silence for deep work and clarity. Your mind can't find clarity when it's constantly being interrupted. To build that inner fortress, you need to carve out dedicated blocks of time with 0 external input. This is a modern strategy inspired by Stoic self-reliance. It means turning your phone off and maybe even putting it in another room. No email, no news, no podcasts, just you and one focused task. These no-input sessions, whether they last 25 minutes or an hour, are where your best ideas will surface. Silence starves distraction and feeds focus. It lets your brain sort through the mental clutter, connect the dots, and figure out what's truly important. This isn't just about being more productive, it's about taking back control of your own mind. Fourth, practice the stillness reset. Throughout your day, especially when you feel overwhelmed or stuck in a loop of negative thoughts, take a 2-minute reset. Just close your eyes. Do a simple scan of your breath, just noticing the feeling of air coming in and out of your body. This simple act of quiet observation stops the spiral of anxious thinking. It brings you right back to the present moment, which is the only place you have real power. The Stoics called this retreating into your inner citadel. It's a sanctuary of calm you can access anytime, anywhere. It's a reminder that your peace doesn't depend on what's happening outside, but on your ability to reconnect with your own still center. Finally, you must journal in quiet. At the end of your day, spend 10 minutes in silence with a notebook. The famous Meditations by Marcus Aurelius was essentially his private journal, a collection of notes written to himself. Use this quiet time to reflect on your day with specific questions. Where did I speak when I didn't need to? Where did my silence help me or someone else? Where did I let myself get pulled into a needless reaction? This practice isn't about judging yourself. It's about building self-awareness. It trains your mind to bring your actions in line with your values, making the discipline of silence a conscious part of who you are. 9 moments where silence is your greatest strength. Understanding the idea is one thing, but knowing when to use it is everything. The true art of silent strength is recognizing those specific moments where holding back is the most powerful and wise thing to do. Let's walk through 9 of these critical situations. 1. In the face of unfair criticism. When someone hits you with unfair criticism, your first instinct is to jump to your own defense. You want to argue, explain yourself, and prove them wrong. The Stoic response is silence. Defending yourself often gives weight to the accusation and signals that it got under your skin. Silence, on the other hand, projects confidence. It sends a clear message. Your opinion of me is not my reality, and I don't need to validate it with a response. It protects your dignity and disarms the critic more effectively than any argument ever could. 2. When others are boasting. You're in a room full of people showing off their accomplishments. The pull to jump in and list your own wins can be powerful, but that urge usually comes from a place of insecurity. The person who is truly self-assured feels no need to advertise their own worth. By staying a quiet observer, you project a calm and powerful self-confidence. Your refusal to enter the ego competition sets you apart and, ironically, often earns you more respect. 3. During spikes of anger. When you feel a flash of anger, either your own or someone else's words are like gasoline on a fire. In that heated state, your rational mind is completely offline. Anything you say will likely be destructive and something you'll regret later. The strongest move is to enforce a period of silence. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca advised, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Silence is that delay. It creates the space for reason to come back online. 4. When you hear rumors or gossip. Getting involved in gossip is a low-value game. It's trading in negativity and adds nothing good to the world. When someone tries to pull you into gossip, a simple, silent nod or a neutral "I see" is the perfect response. You're refusing to participate, refusing to spread the negativity, and signaling that you operate on a higher level. Your silence becomes a quiet rejection of the act itself. 5. In times of grief and loss. When someone is sharing their deep sorrow with you, they usually don't need your advice or your well-meaning cliches. They need your presence. They need a safe space to feel what they're feeling without being judged. Often, the most compassionate thing you can do is just sit with them in silence, maybe offering a hand on their shoulder or just your quiet, attentive energy. Your silent presence can be more healing than 1,000 empty words. 6. When confronted by ignorance and baiting, you'll run into them online and sometimes in person. People who aren't arguing in good faith. They're just trying to provoke you, to bait you into an emotional fight. Engaging with them is a complete waste of your precious time and energy. You can't win an argument with someone who has no interest in the truth. The most powerful response is to block, to mute, or to simply walk away. Your silence is a refusal to play their game. 7. When experiencing decision fatigue. Our ability to make good, high-quality decisions is a limited resource. When you're mentally drained, trying to make one more choice or offer one more opinion is probably going to be a mistake. Recognizing this fatigue and choosing silence is a sign of wisdom. It's perfectly okay to say, "You know, I don't have the mental space to think about this right now. Can we come back to it tomorrow?" This saves your cognitive energy and leads to much better outcomes. 8. In online arguments. This is the modern arena where souls go to die. Almost no one in history has ever changed their core beliefs because of a Facebook comment thread. These arguments are built to be unwinnable, fueled by ego and outrage-driven algorithms. The wisest and strongest choice is almost always to completely disengage, starve the fire of your attention. Put your energy into things you can actually control and improve in your real life. 9. When your words won't add value. Before you speak, ask yourself a simple question. Will what I'm about to say improve on the silence? Is it genuinely helpful, insightful, or kind? So often, we speak just to fill the space or to hear the sound of our own voice. Practicing the discipline to stay quiet, unless you have something meaningful to add, is a true mark of wisdom. It makes it so that when you do speak, your words carry enormous weight and people listen. We've journeyed through the philosophy and the practice of silent strength. We've seen how it's not about being passive, but about profound self-control and strategic wisdom. Now, the real challenge is to take this from an idea you understand to an action you take. So, I want to invite you to try a one-day inner calm challenge. For the next 24 hours, I want you to consciously practice these principles. Start your morning with just 5 minutes of quiet, no phone, just setting an intention for your day. Throughout the day, try to use that 3-breath pause before you reply to messages or questions. Have at least one meal in total silence, with no screens or other distractions. And before you go to sleep, take 10 minutes to journal about where you successfully used silence and where you fell back into old, noisy habits. After you've tried it, I'd love to hear how it went. Share your experience in the comments. What was the hardest part? What surprised you the most? Your story might be the inspiration someone else needs. And if this message connected with you, please like and subscribe. By sharing this, you help spread a message of calm in a world that desperately needs it. Conclusion. The world is going to keep being loud. The demands for your attention aren't going to stop. But you don't have to be a casualty of all that noise. The Stoics taught us that true freedom and strength aren't found by trying to change the world around us, but by mastering our response to it. Your inner world is the only place where you have complete control. Silence is the tool you use to strengthen that inner world. Every time you choose that stoic pause over a knee-jerk reaction, you're laying another stone in the wall of your inner fortress. Every time you listen to truly understand, rather than just to reply, you're reinforcing its foundations. Every moment of scheduled quiet is like walking the battlements, making sure your mind is clear and ready. This isn't a path of weakness. It's the path of quiet confidence, of earned resilience, and of unshakable inner peace. In your stillness, you don't disappear, you actually become more present. In your quiet, your actions become more powerful. Your silence is not empty. It is full of attention, of intention, and of strength. It is the calm center in the heart of the storm, and from that center you can navigate any chaos with wisdom and with grace. That is the strength of silence.